We just received the 11 a.m. advisory. We're not seeing too much of a difference as far as timing for hurricane winds. Sunday afternoon, possibly into early Monday, that's the same. Storm surge at 6 to 9 feet, that's the same. And the storm surge could be dangerous, but we've seen a big change in the projected track. The winds have not changed much. 130 mile per hour winds. It's still a powerful Cat 4. Pressure has risen. That means that from the 8 a.m. update to the 11 a.m. update, that means it hasn't intensified. Okay, pressure drops, then we get concerned about intensification. Pressure rises, then we start to see some weakening. The big thing, can't emphasize this enough, look at the track moving north at 9. Now, why is that important? Because since yesterday, expectation, or at least in the center of the cone that you've been seeing so much, was a northwesterly movement right up the coast and through the Suncoast. And even a bit earlier, looked like it might make landfall in Lombok Key. We're not excluding that possibility yet. We're still in the cone right on the coast. But the official track makes a landfall by the Naples area or by Lee County. That changes everything. If it makes landfall then, it is going to be a lot weaker once it gets to us. Could it still be a major hurricane? Yes. But it'd be Cat 3 rather than Cat 4. And, the difference is everything there. So this is the new track. Notice, though, again, I can't stress enough, the coast is still in the cone. So don't just go, oh, nothing's going to happen. You're still getting major hurricane force winds with 125 miles per hour, Cat 3. That's still something to take very seriously. It could still shift further east. Now that would be even bigger. Then you'd have some stronger winds in the right front quadrant of the storms outside our viewing area. There's still major hurricane force winds in Charlotte and DeSoto and for parts of Sarasota and Manatee County. But that would keep the strongest winds to the northeast if that happened. Or it could continue to follow this new track. This takes it right into Northport again and into Lakewood Ranch, but as more of a Cat 3 than a Cat 4. Once it gets to Monday morning, first of all, look at Tampa. Look at where it is. We're not getting hurricane force winds at that time. We may not even be getting tropical storm force winds at that time if it continued this track. So 24 hours from now, we very well may be seeing the worst done. Not completely out of the woods. We still have those rain bands, those squall lines. Some of the squall lines will produce some, nasty wind gusts. But the crux of it, right here in the center, completely different. That will very likely be gone in 24 hours. There are still hundreds of thousands of people without power already. And I expect that even with this shift to the east, which would have big impacts and lesser impacts in general to our area, it's still a strong storm. So I don't want you to stop taking it seriously because it's a 3. 3 is a powerful major hurricane. That's going to cause a lot of damage. Storm surge will still be a big deal. But if it kept this track, that would help weaken the storm much more by the time it gets to us. Charlotte County, being a bit further south, may still get the strongest winds, though, if it were to make landfall in Lee County or south of that. We'd have to see how rapidly it would weaken. Maybe a slow weakening, because Florida, we're certainly not known for our mountains, so you have low land. You don't get intense weakening of the system, but we would have to see if it followed that. Again, the coast is still in the cone, so don't keep your guard down, but so is the eastern part of this cone. But just that shift north, just the fact that it has moved perfectly to the north and it has not been able to move northwest, that would have huge implications as to the winds we get, which wouldn't be as strong overall near to the coast, would likely be stronger a bit inland, but would still be a bit weaker if it hugged the north here and went up Fort Myers. Now, the rain you're hearing, some of you have reached out to me. You've said, Marco, the shutters are up. I don't know what's going on. I hear some winds and a lot of rain. Please tell me what's happening. If you're watching this, this is just rain. It's outer bands. This isn't the tropical storm force stuff. It is certainly not the hurricane force stuff. We are getting hurricane force winds later. Unless this thing just vanishes in the blink of an eye, which it won't, we're getting hurricane force winds later. Mostly Sunday evening into early Monday morning. But all this is just rain right now, okay? this is what we're looking at, the center and this batch of hurricane winds around it. So depending on where the center is, as I've been saying so much, that's going to determine how strong the winds we are going to get from this system.